Hello everyone, welcome to the course Geotechnical Engineering 2. So in this module number 3 and lecture number 5, we will be discussing on the other stability analysis method, that is Taylor stability method. Okay, so we will look at this more in detail now. Before that, let us look at the course outline once again so that we will get an idea on how we have completed the course till now. So, in the course outline, initially we have understood about the different types of slopes as well as the finite and infinite slope failures as well as a terminology known as factor of safety. Then we are understanding some of the different stability analysis methods. Later we will be discussing some of the slope stability methods in case of embankments as well as earthen dams. Finally, we will be understanding the earth retaining structures. Okay. So, if you look at the different analysis methods in case of finite slopes, so initially we have discussed the wedge method in our previous sessions. There is one more method known as the Kalman's method, which is a similar concept to the wedge method. Okay, and then we have the phi u equal to 0 method and friction circle method, and then we have the Swedish circle method, which is also known as the method of slices. Later we have the Bishop's simplified method, and then we have the Taylor stability number. So as per our syllabus, we are discussing mainly the Swedish circle method or the method of slices method as well as the Taylor stability method. So now let us try to understand this Taylor stability number. So this Taylor stability number is somewhat related to this Kalman's method. So this Kalman's method is somewhat again related to this wedge method. So we have discussed all this. So let us now look at the basics of this Kalman method. Okay. If you look at the diagram here, it is simply similar to your the wedge diagram what we have considered. This is a wedge failure, let us say. This method of stability analysis is generally used for homogeneous soils. It is generally used for homogeneous soils, and here we need to understand that this is one of the most important approximate method. Okay, it is based on certain approximations. Here, similar to the wedge case, here it is assumed that the failure is along a simple plane which is passing through the toe, and the failure is in the form of a wedge shape. So here in this particular diagram, if you look at this particular wedge here, this is the wedge failure plane, okay, that is actually occurring. So this failure plane is inclined at an angle of alpha, and the slope angle of this particular embankment is I. Okay, so what is happening? We will be considering the self weight of this as W. As this is failing completely, there is some mobilized cohesion which is acting along the failure plane, which is trying to resist this sliding of this wedge. Okay, so we will be considering this. As there are two forces acting here, one is the weight and the other one is the cohesion. So what is happening? We need to consider the resultant of these two forces. So there will be a resultant which is acting. So let us say this P is the resultant which is acting in this direction and normal to this inclined plane. Okay, so based on the law of sciences, we can consider this triangular form of forces with respect to the cohesion C intercept along this direction and the weight W in the vertical direction. Okay, and the resultant of these as P in the other direction. So if you look at these particular angles here, so if you look at this particular diagram, if I consider a dotted line here, so this is a normal to the inclined plane, and let us say this is another dotted line which is parallel to the horizontal line. Okay, so as we know, this angle is alpha with the horizontal, so obviously this will be alpha. And similarly, if you consider with respect to this particular wedge along this particular plane, this entire angle is I. Okay, so this angle will be I. Okay, so now as per our understanding, let us say the resultant P is making an angle phi m. It is making an angle phi m with the normal plane which is normal to this plane of failure. Okay, So by considering this as phi m, and let us try to obtain these angles for the triangle considered. So the angle between C, that is along the failure plane, as well as this resultant will be 90 degrees plus phi m. Since this angle is 90 degrees between this one and the normal plane, so this is 90 plus phi m. And similarly, if you look at the other angle Cm and W, this will be 90 plus alpha. This is alpha, so this is 90 degrees, so this will be 90 plus alpha. And similarly, if you look at the angle between this Cm, okay, as well as this resultant, it will be alpha minus phi m. So in that way we need to obtain the angles initially. So based on the law of sciences, we need to evaluate here by considering, let us say, C by, okay, Cm is the mobilized cohesion, so we need to multiply this with respect to length. Okay, length is the length of this failure wedge, that is, say here it is Q and S, so it is Qs. So that is why it is given here Qs. Okay, so I am writing capital Cm into L, so L is simply, let us say, Qs. Okay, so divided by, along this plane, divided by the weight W, then we can simply equate it to your angle opposite to this one, that is sine of alpha minus Cm. This will be sine of alpha minus phi m by, and the angle opposite to this W is actually this angle, so this will be sine of 90 plus phi m. Okay, so I am just drawing here roughly. So this is what we consider with respect to the law of sciences. Let us try to understand the law of forces once again here. So as I have stated, it will be C by W is equals to sine alpha minus phi m by sine of 90 plus phi m. So on further simplification, we know that C is nothing but Cm into L, which is mobilized cohesion, into L is Qs, the length of the failure plane. If you consider the weight of this particular wedge here, it is nothing but, weight is nothing but density into, or unit weight into volume. So I am writing here unit weight into the volume, so this is gamma into the volume. So volume can be simplified and stated as 0.5, that means half into L into H by sin I into sine of I minus alpha. Okay, so based on the wedge you try to solve this, you will get this area here. Okay, and if you simplify this, and if we gather the terms and if we write this as in this manner, Cm by gamma H, Cm by gamma into H, since L will get cancelled, so this is sine into I minus alpha into cosecant I into sine of alpha minus phi m by 2 into cos of phi m. So if you consider this as one term, Kalman stated that this entity Cm by gamma H, this entity Cm by gamma H is nothing but a stability number which is denoted by Sn. So it is given as the stability number Sn. Okay, so Sn is the stability number which is given by Cm by gamma into H. Also we know that the factor of safety with respect to cohesion, that is Fc, is nothing but C by Cm, which we have obtained in our initial class. So Fc is nothing but C by Cm. So if you substitute, Cm is equals to C by Fc. Okay, just interchanging the terms. So Cm will be C by Fc, and if you substitute it here in this equation, so your Sn will now become, the Cm is nothing but C by Fc, so I can simply write this is C by Fc into gamma H. This is the stability number, okay, which we have obtained. So now let us try to understand what do we mean by this Taylor stability number. Okay, so here this Taylor stability number, if you look at the Sn term, it is actually depending on the angle. Okay, here I have denoted the slope angle is beta, that means let us say the slope angle is I, so it is depending on I, as well as the embankment height H. If you look at the diagram previously, it is the embankment height H, as well as the effective unit weight of the material or the soil, either gamma, gamma dash, whatever is the value. Okay, as well as the angle of internal friction phi, and the unit cohesion, that means the cohesion value C dash. So it is depending on all these values, and we know that based on these values we can obtain the factor of safety, because we know that we can obtain based on these values the factor of safety for the particular slope. Okay, so if we can determine the factor of safety using this, then we can determine the stability number. Okay, so the other thing is that Taylor, he stated that there are different wide range of values of slope angles as well as the angle of internal friction. That means he stated that there are different values of I as well as alpha. Okay, so he gave a stability chart based on these I value as well as alpha value, and using these charts we can obtain the stability number. Okay, so that means here Sn value is actually depending, okay, it is actually depending upon the slope angle. The slope angle is nothing but our denotation is I, and the angle of internal friction, that is phi. Okay, so it is depending upon these two values. So Taylor stated that based on these two values he has given some stability charts. So from those charts for different I and phi value we can obtain the stability number. As I have stated, Sn is nothing but Cm by gamma h, and as we know Fc is nothing but C by Cm. So simplifying, we have obtained this C by Fc into gamma h. Okay, here C is the cohesion and gamma is the unit weight of the soil and h is the height of the soil mass. Okay, now coming to the other part, so Taylor has stated that these stability charts, whatever I have stated till now, these are derived based on the friction circle method concept. Okay, this is one method of stability analysis. So from based on this method he has obtained some stability charts. Okay, so and he stated that this is generally used for a simple sections and homogeneous soil. If the soil is homogeneous and the section is simple, if the embankment is simple form, then we can go for this Taylor stability charts. Okay, now so here he stated that there are certain important parameters. As we have discussed, this depends upon certain important parameters. So what are those important parameters? We know it depends on Cm, gamma, h, I and phi m. So from our basic formula, Sn is equals to Cm by gamma h or C by Fc gamma h. Okay, so from that we can clearly know it is depending on Cm, gamma, h, and apart from that we know the factor of safety is depending upon these two entities. And as per our stability charts also, Taylor stated that it depends on these two parameters. So there is one another parameter, that is the sixth parameter, which is df. Okay, so this is known as the depth factor. So this is another entity, important entity, which influences the stability number. Clear? So now let us look at the stability chart. So as I have stated, this is one stability chart. If you look at this particular graph, along the horizontal axis it is the slope angle I, and the other one is the angle of internal friction phi m for different values of phi m. So here on the vertical axis it is the stability number. Okay, so he gave that whenever you consider any steep slope, okay, whenever there is any steep slope, so in case of steep slope what is happening means the failure plane that is there, it is always passes through the toe. It is considered that the failure plane always passes through the toe in case of steep slope. If you consider any flatter slopes, what happens means this plane of failure generally passes through the bottom of this toe. It doesn't intersect the toe, but it passes below the toe. Okay, so in steeper slopes we need to consider that it passes through the toe. The failure plane passes through the toe. Now, so here as per our Taylor stability number, so he has given based on I value and phi m value as well as Sn value. So here you need to understand that if the I value is greater than 53 degrees, then the toe failure will occur. Okay, in this case whenever the I value is greater than 53 degrees, then the toe failure will occur. And if it is less than or equal to 53 degrees, as well as if the phi m values are very small, if the phi m values are very small, then what happens, a more critical surface failure may occur which passes through the base. Okay, so as I have stated that in case of flatter slope you may observe this failure passing below the toe, and similarly in this case also when I is less than 53 degrees and smaller values of phi m, it passes below the toe. So if the slope angle is less, then obviously a failure which is below the toe may occur. If it is greater than 53 degrees, then a failure plane passing through the toe may occur. Clear? So that is what we need to understand. So from this particular graph, if we know the I value as well as phi m value, Sn values can be determined from this figure number 1. Now when you consider the stability charts, so when phi m is equals to 0, that means the angle of internal friction is equals to 0, instead of using the previous stability charts, Taylor has stated that some other stability charts has to be used, because as I have stated that another entity that is there, the depth factor, that is an important parameter which is playing role when phi m is 0. So he stated that it depends on this df, and in this case when phi m is 0, we must use this particular type of stability charts, where in this particular case instead of the x-axis being I value, the slope angle, here it is considered the depth factor. Okay, so that is the only parameter that is changing here. Now so as I have stated, it is depending on the depth factor. So what is this depth factor? It is nothing but it is an entity which depends upon the depth of the hard stratum. Okay, so if you consider an embankment in this manner, so let us say this is the ground level here and this is the top of the embankment. Let us say there is some hard stratum here at a certain depth, say. So it is nothing but it is the distance below the top of this hard stratum. Okay, so below this top, wherever the hard stratum is there, that depth is required. Okay, let us say it is d. So this depth factor is a parameter which depends upon the depth of the hard stratum below this toe, as well as the embankment height h, so it is given by d by h. df is given by d by h. So as I have stated, df is nothing but the depth of hard stratum below the top of the slope to the height of the slope. Okay, that means d by h. So if you look at this particular diagram now, in the previous stability charts when we considered, here on the x-axis we have considered df in this aspect when phi m is 0. Okay, and here on the x-axis stability charts are mentioned. Let us say there are some n number of curves in this manner which is depending upon both I as well as n. Okay, from the previous graph what we have seen, it is depending upon I and n. So if you look at this particular curve here, if let us say the failure plane is somewhere in this manner. Okay, so that means there is some additional distance here of this failure. So this distance is considered as nh. Okay, this distance is considered as nh. So from this we will obtain our n value. So now we will be using some other different stability charts in case of when phi m is 0, which is depending upon the depth factor. So Taylor has given some of the standard tabular form values for this. Okay, he has given some entity based on depth factor as well as the sloping angle. So these are different values of Sn value, and this is generally adopted when phi m is 0 and I value is less than 53 degrees. Clear? Now so here there are some of the important points to be understood. if the factor of safety with respect to friction, that is f phi, is equal to 1, then always phi m is equal to phi. That means your mobilized internal friction is equals to your angle of internal friction. Clear? And the other one is that in case of submerged slope, whenever the soil is submerged, then what we have to use, we have to consider the submerged unit weight gamma dash. Okay, and the phi should be used in submerged condition. Whatever phi we will be using, that should also be in submerged condition. Now, so when there is sudden drawdown case, when there is sudden drawdown, if you consider any reservoir, if you say the reservoir at a particular period of time is completely full, okay, up to this level water is there, and there is some sudden drawdown within say few days itself, that means there is sudden drop down of this water. So in such case, what we need to use, we need to consider the saturated unit weight. So this is generally given by this following equation here. Tan phi m is equals to gamma dash by gamma sat into 1 by f phi into tan phi dash. Okay, and where phi is the effective angle of internal friction. Okay, apart from that, we have few more points. So when the factor of safety with respect to shear strength is required, that means I need to find out the factor of safety with respect to shear strength. So as we have discussed in the previous case, that whenever we require factor of safety with respect to shear strength, we are calculating, then we should go for trial and error method. So then we will adopt for trial and error procedure. Okay, purely frictional soils are considered. When purely frictional soils are considered, so what will happen, cohesion intercept is 0. So what will happen then in that case, since this Sn value is 0, if the cohesion value is 0, Sn value is also 0, hence we cannot use these stability charts. Hence we cannot use these stability charts. And later the shear strength parameters must be determined in the laboratory simulating the drainage conditions. So whenever we have to find out the shear strength parameters C and phi, so obviously we need to conduct the experiments in the laboratory itself, where we determine the C's and phi parameters. But how do we determine? We make sure that the soil sample whatever we are collecting is actually simulated to the field condition. Okay, whatever we are testing, we make sure that we apply proper drainage conditions, and we make sure that it is simulated to the actual field problem. Okay, so that is another important aspect here. So coming to the assignment questions, I have listed some of the assignment questions as usually, and I have given some problematic question. Try to solve them. We will anyway discuss in the later section some of the problems. Okay, now coming to the upcoming lecture, so we will be discussing on the stability of certain slopes with different conditions. Okay, let us say there is an earthen dam which is a homogeneous soil, so we will be understanding the behavior of its stability for different conditions. Okay, say steady seepage, or say there is some sudden drawdown condition. Okay, as well as when you are constructing or after construction, so we will try to understand its behavior of an earthen dam case. Okay, in this upcoming lecture. So I hope you have understood very well. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.